Well, good morning, everyone. And once again, welcome to another live this morning. And good to have you with us. As per usual, we'll wait a moment or two till a few folks come on and say hello. And Holly, you're first one up this morning. Good morning to you. And we appreciate you. Rosalinda, Niagara Falls, Rosa, Montreal, John, Elgin, Illinois, and Holly, who was the first one up, is from Kansas. Good morning, Kansas. Nicole, good morning. Sandra, Aurelia, Madeleine, good morning to you. Francis Marie, Carrie from Nebraska. We're getting that Midwest. Jeanette from our staff, Colleen from Wheatley, Roland, and Barbara, Nova Scotia, Vancouver, Roland. Wow, bright and early this morning. Another Jeanette. Good morning to you. From Manitoba, Shelley. Trinidad, Michelle. All over the world, guys. Excuse me. Karen and Helena and John and Nick from our staff. Wendy, good morning to you. Sonia and Patricia, Alabama. Well, good morning, Alabama. New York, Rochester, Connie. Karen, good morning. Karen, how are you? Nancy and Elaine and Deb, our friend from Timmins, Morris, North Bay, Julie, and Patricia. Good morning to you. And we appreciate it. Bruno. Okay, Lynn. Bonjour, Lynn. Good morning to you. From Werner, Elizabeth, and Lorraine. Okay, let's get going. And Susan, how are you? Doug? I appreciate you guys more than you know. AJ, how are you? Barbara, how are you? Okay, let's talk money. Let's talk money this morning. Okay? I think I'm allergic to you guys. I'm sneezing this morning. Excuse me. Okay, now, let's talk money here for a minute. How much do you think, this is American figures, okay? How much do you think diabetes cost the American economy a year? Do you have any idea? This just came out. This just came out. I flagged it yesterday. Brand new from 2020. What did diabetes cost? You ready? $1 billion a day. Diabetes cost the American economy to treat it, lost productivity, all the hospital costs, the number one cause of blindness, the number one cause of heart disease, probably one of the number one causes of cancer, amputations, kidney disease. What's springing up all over America and Canada? Dialysis. I wish I would have invested in dialysis machines. How would you like to be the makers of that? $365 billion is what diabetes costs the American. And, remember, Canada, we're just 10 times smaller than the United States. So just do the math. Just do the math. But and then let me bring this out to you. And then we sort of mentioned at the top of the program yesterday that the American nutritional establishment, Tufts University, did you Tony Jr. posted that on our private Facebook group yesterday. It makes you want to scream. They rated the best foods. At the bottom of the list, worst of the worst, was ground beef. Eggs and butter at the bottom of the list. Cheese, bottom of the list. You know where at the top? Cereals. One of them was Lucky Charms. You want to be unlucky? Eat Lucky Charms. You talk about if diabetes in the United States alone is costing $365 billion with a B. Think of how crazy that is. And here we are. Here's some top, like Tufts University is telling people they're talking about the American nutritional establishment. Well, here's what you eat. You know what the best cereal to eat is? None of them. You know what the best oatmeal to eat is? None. You know what the best toast is to eat? None. You know what the best jam is to eat, guys? None. But they have these breakfast cereals all at the top of their list. It's diabetes in a box. Now, I brought this to you probably 2 years ago, and I haven't looked up. Follow the money, guys. Follow the money. Merck's, okay? Have you heard of that pharmaceutical company? Well, Merck's make a designer drug. I call it a designer drug because they make metformin. Metformin is one of the top selling drugs in North America. Now, in 2018, because of the sales of metformin, the CEO of Merck's, he got a bonus. He got high fives from everybody around him at Merck's. And then they give him a big fat bonus. You know how much it was for? Just his bonus, not his salary. You know what his bonus was for? Because of the sales of metformin? $38 million bonus. Guys, we're in the wrong business. We're in the wrong business. He got $38 million as a bonus. Here's your bonus. You know, I guess percentage of sales of metformin. Designer drugs. Now, you guys know me because, and for the new folks that are joining us every day, again, we appreciate you have no idea. But I want to tell you to the new folks, I have been consistent. I went to school. I graduated in 1974. I kept going to school after that. But no. Do you know that I watched diabetes in my home, see? Because my father found out in 1968 that he was a diabetic. It changed our home. It changed my dad's life. And I watched him go back to the way it used to be. Do you know that in, what year was it? It's 100 years old. How could I forget that? Do you know that in 1921 is when they discovered insulin? 1921. Do you know that before that date, do you know how they treated diabetes? Not that there was a lot of diabetes, but there was diabetes. Okay? There was diabetes. You know how they treated it? Low carb. But then 1921, they found a drug. They found insulin. It saved millions of people's lives. So don't come after me for talking about a drug like it's like an antibiotic. Come on, guys. If you got a raging infection, you better take an antibiotic. If you're a diabetic and, type 1 especially, you need insulin. It'll save your life. I'm not against that. But before 1921, if you were a diabetic, they told you, look, you and carbs don't get along. So stop eating them. Then it was all lost. But I'm going to tell you, in my own home, I watched my father, who was a smart man, eat steak every night. I said, Dad, aren't you tired of it? He said, well, I'm a diabetic. Your grandfather was a diabetic. You can't eat carbs. That was 1968. What? I didn't even know what yeah, come on. I was 16 or whatever I was. But I watched that. And then I seriously, I get to school and they teach me something different. They teach me, well, even you're diabetic, you need to have some carbs because your blood sugar is going to go down as you take drugs. But you see, since the 1920s, guys, I'm not kidding you, the treatment for diabetes is medication, not food. And diabetes is an allergy. It is. It's an allergy to carbs. You see, human beings, okay? We have minimums that we need to eat. There's a scale. You got to have so much, everybody needs a certain amount of protein, certain amount of fat, certain amount of minerals, certain amount of vitamins. We have RDAs, right? How much, minimums. Do you know that human beings have no minimum for carbohydrates? I'm just telling you that. It's nutrition 101. I mean, they forget that, but you never have, I'm not suggesting you do it. I'm just telling you the truth, okay? You never have to eat another carb in your life. Ever. Your body doesn't need it to survive. Now, I'm not saying to do that. I'm just telling you that there's tribes around the world, including in our northern hemisphere up here in Canada, the Inuit. They eat very little carbs, almost zero. Yeah. And in 1958, a Canadian who actually got stuck up in the Arctic, Stephenson, wrote a book. I read it. Not in 1958. I read it as part of my nutrition PhD. Okay. I didn't read it in 1958. I was only 6 years old. But you know what he said? He observed, because he got caught up in the Arctic. You know, they were coming to get him out, and I guess all the ice, built up, and they couldn't get him in 1958. So he lived with the, in those days they called them Eskimos. And he wrote a book about it. He was a researcher. He was a doctor. He said, I never seen people as healthy as this. Normal blood pressure, normal blood sugar, normal everything. It was unreal. He said, how can they do that? I'm accustomed to eating carbohydrates. They don't eat any. They just live on fat. Like they consume blubber and fish and seal, and they don't even eat the muscle from the seal. They give that to their dogs. They eat the organs. They eat the fat. He said they got blubber coming out their ears. He couldn't believe how healthy they were. I tell my First Nation friends, would you get back to living off the land? Quit eating our food, the white man. We're trying to kill you. Like, even the Inuit don't get sick until they eat fast foods. It's true. Would you get back to eating the way we're supposed to? Not Lucky Charms, not Cheerios. Cheerios was right at the top of the list of the healthiest cereal. I get a headache just thinking about it. There's a heart on the Cheerio box, because if you eat it, insist on eating it, you will have a heart attack. It's big business, guys. It's big business to keep us sick. Diabetes. I'm not saying they even have bad motives. I'm telling you, maybe at the top, maybe the shareholders, maybe that. People that work in the medical field, they don't have bad motives. They got in it to help people, but then they get lied to, and diabetes. 365 billion, $1 billion a day. That's that industry. And if you ever see Ken Frazier, I don't even know if he's still the CEO there at Merck's. You see, medicine and diabetes, here it is. Here it is. Like the average medical doctor, I'm just going to give you an estimation, would take what? 4 or 5 hours, if that, of nutrition. They leave that to other people. So here you have a disease. Here you have a disease that is caused by food. It's caused by food. The solution is food. But when you're not trained in food, you think of balance. Everything in moderation. Eat less and move more. Eat less and move more. Count calories. You want to count calories? You'll be a diabetic. It is what you put in your mouth every day. What is it? Is it a protein? Is it fat? Or is it carbohydrate? And if you eat a donut, you get no protein, you get bad fat, industrialized fat, You get rat chow. That's how they fatten up rats so they can do experiments on them. It's called rat chow. A donut. You go to Tim Hortons and you get a muffin and you think, oh, it's a carrot muffin. Must be good. Nah, it's got 8 teaspoons of sugar in it. So here we are. We're in a society today, hook, line, and sinker. Let's manage diabetes. The number one cause of blindness. The number one cause of amputations. The number one cause of kidney disease. The number one cause of heart disease. And you know, in my book, The Reset, I said it's the number one cause of cancer too. And people go, well, listen, guys, 88% of the population. Okay, let me break this down for you. Type 1 diabetes, okay, now remember, there's type 1, type 2, and they got type 3 too. But we'll talk about that. Type 1 is an autoimmune disease, okay? Type 1 diabetes, and that's on the big time rise today. Okay? Now, type 1, the pancreas is damaged. It's damaged. It doesn't secrete enough insulin. Therefore, you need medication. Okay, got it? But I just want to stay on type 1 for a minute. I remember this is... after I graduated, one of my courses I took in my postgraduate work was a course given by Dr. Was it Bernstein? I'm just trying to remember his name. I wrote it down somewhere. Hold on a minute. Yes, Dr. Richard Bernstein. Okay, that's a long time ago. 40 years ago. Okay, that he wrote. There was a course that I took on diabetes, but he was talking about type 1, autoimmune. And Dr. Bernstein did studies on low-carb eating and type 1 diabetes. The results were astounding. The A1C and everything they tested back then, incredible. But it's sort of, you know, it was like Dr. Atkins, who was a cardiologist. You all heard about Dr. Atkins, the Atkins diet. He was a cardiologist. He wasn't a dummy. He talked about not type 1, but type 2 diabetes. But he said, listen, it's carbs. And people in those days, their head was exploding because he was talking about eating, you know, fat. And already in the 70s, people were eating fat-free because they thought that was healthy. Even today, if you look at that Tufts University study, fat is at the bottom of the list. It's so bad because they still believe the cholesterol nonsense. I can't get over how our world, it doesn't even think. Think. Put your thinking cap on. Put your thinking cap on. So that's type 1. And like I said, that's sort of been lost. Nobody teaches them hardly, you know, like a lot of people have asked me, because I treated a lot of type 1 diabetes, you know, nutritionally. I'd say, well, look, you got trouble. You and carbs don't get along. So, you know, I'm not telling you not to take your meds or nothing. I don't do that to people. I just said, you need to live on vitamin S, steak. Live on it. Live on eggs. Live on cheese. You're going to feel a lot better. You're not going to get those fluctuations. Because one of the biggest things in type 1 is they get a lot of hypoglycemia. They it's hard to regulate that insulin. Now, type 2, it's 100%, no exceptions. It's carbohydrates. Nobody gets type 2 diabetes without being a carboholic. Oh, my dad was a diabetic. Yeah, well, so was mine. But you don't get it without being a carboholic. It's just the way it is. And people, it seems too simple, Doc. Well, I said, look at, for you new folks, I'll say it fast. The cat story. Okay, I'm going to say it fast because anybody that follows us for a long time, I tell this cat story too often, but I don't care. I like it. No, but listen, it's a true story. Lady comes into the office. She had allergies. And I asked her, okay, what are you allergic to? She said, my cat. I said, well, get rid of it. Well, she said, I can't. I love it. I said, well, I can't help you. You're a diabetic. You have an allergy to carbs. Get rid of them. You mean forever? Yeah, forever. Don't have them. You'll get used to it. No toast. Pretend. Oh, Doc, I can't eat my eggs without toast. Sure you can. I didn't say it was going to be easy. I'm just telling you that's what you got to do. Now, again, let me get to this. Type 1, the pancreas is not working. It's autoimmune, and you're not producing enough insulin. Type 2 is you're producing too much insulin. 88%. Listen, about 50% of North Americans are diabetic or pre. But listen to what I'm saying now. I'm going to bring it a step further. 88%. I always use that figure. Because this is what's happening in North America. 88% have insulin resistance. It's a disorder that's leading to diabetes. It's a disorder. Your cells resist insulin, the bad neighbor. Insulin resistance causes heart disease, it causes cancer, it causes Alzheimer's, type 3 diabetes, Alzheimer's, and it's the cause of diabetes. Type 2 diabetes is brought to you by insulin resistance or high circulating insulin. 88% of the population have trouble with that. And you know what? We're not talking about it. And I bring you back to the top of the program. Why are we not talking about it? Why are companies like Merck's, who make designer drugs to manage diabetes, why? Here we are. The elephant in the room. Even with COVID, it was the elephant in the room. Insulin resistance. 88%. No wonder we got so sick. And guys, I always say this, we ain't seen nothing yet. Because we're looking for love in all the wrong places. We're looking at the wrong thing. It's not managing. We need to fix it. and I want to pump your tires. I'm here to pump you up. You take care of yourself. The biggest benefit you'll make to society is taking care of yourself, and then influence other people as much as you can. You can bring a horse to water, but you can't make them drink it. But you can certainly lead by example. And that's what this program is all about. It's all about that. It's why my desire was always to teach. I used to do it patient on patient, one doctor with patient, and teach them one-on-one. I used to do it. I did it for years and years and years. I never allowed a patient to leave my office without a plan. I always had a plan for them. And it always started with nutrition, always. I would teach them Nutrition 101. I don't care what the problem was. But here we are today. Follow the money. You don't think they don't influence? Like, wow. Diabetes is costing us $1 billion a day. Guys, see, when I look down the path of the future, when it comes to our health, guys, I tell you, I am scared for our society. People don't realize what they're doing to themselves. And don't rely on the media. Don't rely on it. Even doctors are not trained. I love when doctors jump on board and they want to know more about nutrition. You know, here they are. They get no nutrition almost in medical school. I mean, almost zilch. And then they come out to treat all these nutrition-related disorders. Like from cardio to cancer to Alzheimer's. You know, and they can't help themselves. They're writing prescriptions because that's all they know. It's crazy, isn't it? 88% of the population, 88, are upside down. And most people don't know it because, again, until they get the official diagnosis, I'm all right. Nah, you're not all right. Anyway, you know what tomorrow is? Question and answer Friday. So get your questions in. Okay? It's not too late. I will try and answer all your questions. Are you a member of the private Facebook group? Why not? Okay? Do you listen to the podcast the doctor is in? Why not? Share it with your friends. Tell them how they can sign up to download it on their smartphone. Okay? Do you get our emails? You can sign up, martinclinic.com. Okay. We love you guys. We'll talk to you soon.